All right, so I just really was just scrolling on YouTube and I came across the video with Uzi and Fat Joe. Like I said, interview. I've been seeing clips of this shit, you know what I mean, on Twitter. I was wondering why academics tweeted what he said about Uzi. And so in the interview, he talks about various things from his upbringing, music industry, his last couple albums, the diamond that's in the middle of his forehead, and just him personally. Now, it was one thing that he said that I don't agree with. You know what I mean? And to hear him say that, it's just like, wait, what? Why would he say that shit? Because if you're an artist and don't really believe in your music, I mean, I don't think you'll. Well, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and he go explain that. Hold on.
I say the music wasn't that great for me. Would have been an amazing project for anyone else, but the music wasn't that great. The music is, it's great ride music and it could live. You know how shit goes. Maybe in a little bit of time it'll be a hit off of there, but usually my shit is automatic. And I had one or two great songs on there out of a whole fucking deluxe and a whole album.
Now you see how that kind of sounds a little bit crazy. You know what I mean? I don't really understand why he said that, but when Eternal Atake came off, the promo was crazy. We was waiting. Anybody that's an Uzi fan was waiting, a minute. You dig? And when the promo first hit, that first trailer, whatever the case may be, it was like, okay, it's a go. You know what I mean? It's going to drop. So at the same time, me being a fan of him, I'm like, shit. The original artwork was dope, but the controversy that came with that, and I'm not really looking at it as like, okay, he did Lover's Rage 2. That was basically the album. So Eternal Take is the next joint. I didn't really have no expectations, but we know what we all like from Uzi. You probably like different aspects of his career or music, and I know exactly what I admire him and like him for. So when Eternal Take came out, it was different, to say the least. But it wasn't, I wouldn't call it lame or whack or no shit like that. Like, it wasn't that. It was like, what are we comparing it to? Are we comparing it to his mixtapes or just his debut album? And just a week later, boom, Lil Uzi vs. the World 2 came out. And I feel like that was even doper, I won't say doper than Eternal Take, but it definitely was something where, okay, this is more the Uzi that, you know what I mean, we all know and everything. And not every song on that motherfucker was dope. I'm not going to even say that, but it was just, I don't know. Maybe it was because we went so long without music from Uzi, other than leaks and shit. So anything new at the time probably would have made everybody feel like, okay, this is the shit, this is it. You know what I mean? Because even Uzi said he only had like one or two good songs on there. I believe that's bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, nah. You know what I mean? I can't remember the track list off, rip, but I do know that it's a couple joints I definitely went back to. I mean, Chrome Heart Tags, crazy. You know what I'm saying? What is it, Venetia? Is that how you say it? That's like my favorite song on that motherfucker. Like, that's like hard as fuck. You know what I mean? It reminded me of How to Talk off Lover's Race 2 or whatever the case may be. But I don't know. To hear him talk, I mean, and that's the thing though, he don't really do interviews, so I couldn't believe it when I seen it. It's like, whoa, he talking straight, you know what I'm saying? He getting his thoughts across, because he don't really talk. You know what I mean? I compared that little 40-minute little joint to Ebro. Even when he did the Hot 97 interview, and it's like he really didn't say much. He said something, but he didn't really talk a lot. And we know he don't do interviews and shit like that, so this was dope to hear him open up like that. And, speak on the things he spoke about. He definitely got that diamond shit down pat. He had to make motherfuckers understand that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, and it's crazy to find out that, his mom didn't even want him to do it. It's like, word, like, hell no. And the fact that he wasn't even going to pit it there, he was going to make it into a ring. But yeah, losing a $24 million ring, I think that's a hell of a loss. And so for everything that I can take away from it, it's just like, it's not a loss to him. You know what I mean? Like, the money, that ain't really shit. Like, he's still up. You know what I mean? And his family's taken care of. And they spoke on the 27 Club, which is fucking crazy and scary all in, in itself, that, you don't really want nobody to be in that type of mindset to where they figure they won't be here. Not saying that he wants to do that like he said, but if he wanted to, he would. he would have been did it. You know what I mean? And it's just dope to see him open up. But the thing that I got mad at is when Joe asked the nigga what's up with the new music. He didn't really answer the question, but he basically said that he's taking his time. And he relayed that on by saying that fans don't understand what the fuck that mean. Which it sounds crazy when you think about coming from him, but it's self-explanatory what that means when somebody taking their time. You know what I mean? But I will say that most of the snippets that I've heard, some are cool, some more not. And it's like if it's Love Is Race 3 is dropping, he know the sound that people love from him. You know what I mean? From that project. It's just evolving that sound. You know what I mean? I don't know if he can top what he did with the first one. The second one was straight. But for the third one, that's like the trilogy. You know what I mean? Could he have a flawless trilogy? I don't know. Maybe not that many songs. I would say at least cut it at 12, maybe 15 songs. We don't need another album where it's just like 20-some songs. I don't think that'll work. But I don't know. It's hard to say what... Musically, I feel like he's still relevant, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I wasn't feeling that Future tape that he did. That shit to me, come on, bro. You wouldn't give us the Cardi joint, but you gave us Future. We don't give a fuck about that. I don't think that Pluto, Baby Pluto shit went over so good. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I didn't really fuck with it. You know what I mean? I can't relate. You know what I mean? So it's just good to see him actually doing more talking, even in the climate we in where, you know, interviews are kind of different, but for him to sit there and do that, I think that's pretty dope, because he could have just been basic and just looked at all the questions, since he say he be everywhere and follow everything. That most of the questions that people, you know, asked or said, tweeted to him or left comments, he could have, you know, simply wrote that shit down and just went on live and just read off that shit and just gave explanations for the things that people were saying. But he did an actual interview. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty dope, because he could have said no, which showed me that he's mature. Because remember how he felt about old heads? He didn't really fuck with them. He didn't want to hear none of that shit that these niggas had to say. You know, blah, blah, blah. But now to see him actually, you know, communicating with, you know, some of these people, it was pretty dope to see that. I'm like, oh, okay, so you hear that stupid shit? I swear to fucking God, whoever that neighbor is, do that shit almost every day. That shit fucking annoying. What happened to motherfuckers texting somebody or calling them? That's so fucking ghetto to sit outside my house and honk the horn. Fuck. Now, what was I saying? But yeah, so to see Uzi just really showing love and admiration for, you know, people that came before him in hip-hop was pretty dope. Then he, you know, asked him about certain things. He spoke on, like, I think Joe asked him who's his top 5 or whatever the case may be. He gave a reason why he liked Wayne. I think he said Remy Ma. And I kind of turned it off after that. I really didn't really give a fuck. It's like, Uzi with a top 5. It's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just dope though. I just wasn't feeling the shit he said about EA and shit like that. You know, I thought that shit was kind of corny and kind of lame. But it is what it is. What y'all think about Uzi, you know, music? Do y'all think those 2 albums was garbage, trash, the way he said it? And do you think Love Is Race 3 will kind of put him back in a place that he feels, from what I can understand, where he used to be? You know what I mean? I don't know. But, all right, y'all. 1.